Now, first, the answer to our question about quality time between parents and children. During the work week, fathers spend an average of 8 minutes a day in meaningful conversation with their children, just 8 minutes. And mothers, even the ones who stay at home, spend less than 30 minutes a day communicating with their children, which is why we decided to do this story. We know that corporations can afford to spend a lot of money hiring consultants to tell them how to save time, but families need that kind of help even more. So Jay Shadler got the best people we could find, gave them a family, and said, how do we fix this?
We're just too tired. Our lives are too hectic, and I just can't manage to get out of bed.
No! No!
The kids are so time-consuming and so exhausting.
We have basically no time to ourselves.
Oh, Brooke is peeing on the floor!
I get 3 weeks off a year. I'm on that bus 5 days a week. I have a 30-year mortgage.
During the week, there's no house cleaning being done.
I worry about us as a family.
Let go, Brooke.
You know, where we're going, how we're going to end up.
I just have to keep going and keep going and keep going until I can't go anymore.
I've only had 3 hours of sleep for 3 nights in a row.
The marriage is in crisis.
We're just overwhelmed at the moment.
Just another day in the life of a frantic middle-class American family. Jeannie Bain and John Herzog, both in their early 30s, live in suburban New Jersey with their 2 children, 3-year-old Ian and 1-year-old Brooke. Jeannie writes for a small advertising firm. John is a supervisor at a bank in New York City. They've been married 4 years.
What was your idea of what your life was going to be like?
Certainly nothing close to what it is.
No, nothing like what it is. And at this point in our life, all we're doing is surviving. We are spending 24 hours a day in the interest of food, clothing, shelter, caring for the children.
To document this all-American time squeeze during just one typical weekday, we use 6 cameras to record every dizzying detail of the family's life, from dawn to dark. Among our findings, husband and wife spoke to each other face-to-face for a total of 3 minutes. They spent 4.5 hours commuting. Mom was alone with her children for 3.5 hours, Dad for 30 minutes. The kids spent 9 hours and 45 minutes in daycare, and Ian was in front of the television for 3 hours.
I think this is very typical. This is America today.
Judson Calbreth is the editor of Working Mother magazine. As a writer, lecturer, and mother herself, she's one of 2 time management experts we used to review tapes and transcripts of our family's day.
I think time management really is at the core of happiness. A family that's running well has time to be together, has individual time. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure the organization is in place so that you can do the things that make you happy.
Our other expert, Dr. Stephen Covey, is the author of several bestsellers, including The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and First Things First.
For John and Jeannie, first things first would be what?
What are the most important goals they want to work toward? Do they have an overall sense of what their purpose is in their marriage and in their family life?
Before that question can be answered, let's return to our cameras to watch just how this family's daily struggle unfolds.
I'm up at 6 and out of the house by 6:35.
I'm catching my last few minutes of sleep. Usually Ian wakes up first.
Would you like to go downstairs and watch a video?
If he's not watching a video, I'm not eating my breakfast in peace, or I'm not able to go around the house and easily gather up my things for work. Are you ready to get dressed? Would you like me to get your clothes?
No!
I'm alone with the kids in the morning for a good hour.
Be careful, Brookie.
And I take them to daycare. Okay.
Bye-bye, Brookie. Bye-bye. All right, she's okay. I'm out of here.
That whole morning time, morning madness is what it's become. What should it feel like?
It should feel like a haven. This is a warm, peaceful time. There should be more quiet time in the morning.
So tip number 1, wake up 20 minutes before the kids.
Be ready to go out the door yourself, except for slipping on your clothes at the last minute. Have everything ready so that she can set the tone for the morning.
Tip number 2, replace the cartoons with a cuddle.
The very first thing she does in the morning was she leaned over, said hello, and said, "Do you want to see a video?"
Yeah.
How bad is that?
Well, a little bit of TV might be okay, but I think it's used in an unhelpful way in this family. It's used as a bribe. It's used as a babysitter. Ian really wants more time with his mom. If she gave herself more time in the morning, maybe she would want to even get in the bed with him and cuddle, put another blanket on him, warm up his body temperature so he really, his body wakes up physically. Maybe bring a glass of orange juice and raise his blood sugar level.
Tip number 3, keep it simple. Too many choices is a prescription for trouble.
Would you like to get dressed first?
No!
Would you like to eat Cheerios?
No!
Ian, would you like me to turn the TV off?
A child this age needs only one, two choices. So he sort of is overstimulated and gets in a tantrum.
So how do you deal with that?
Pick him up, give him a hug, but don't try to reason it. That's just totally a waste of time. This is also where predictability would help. If they had a regular schedule, he'd know what to expect and would be more reasonable.
By 8:30, morning madness is over. The kids are in daycare and the parents are on their way to work.
Get on the bus, go into the city, walk to my job. Usually I'm rushed. We don't have many options here. We have to work, and we have to put them in daycare.
This is Daddy, and this is Brooke, and this is Ian, and this is Jeannie.
What the hell are we having for dinner?
I don't know. At work, I'm definitely run by the clock in terms of what bus can I catch out of here, and, can I leave this problem?
The pressure and the onus is on me to get to the daycare to pick them up by 6.
Do you feel like you're hurting your career in some ways by the time that you've had to spend
Yes.
doing families?
Yes, absolutely. Having to pick the children up every day, I kind of walk out on situations that I always shouldn't walk out on.
I make decisions all the time to leave, so I do get that hour with Brooke.
They're really doing some heroic things, but they're compromising in every area of life, and they know it.
Mired in life's details, Covey says John and Jeannie have lost sight of the big picture. So, tip number 1, stop thinking of yourself as trapped.
Realize you're in control. You are not a victim. You're not a product of your past, of your genes, or of your present circumstances. John and Jeannie's life is being driven by the clock, continuously. They have no compass. They have no real sense of what the most important things are.
What are you living for? What are you working toward?
That's what we lose sight of in the fray of daily existence.
I have no idea. I haven't thought about it for 3 years.
Tip number 2, with your spouse, write a statement of goals, just a short paragraph describing your priorities in life. That can trigger all sorts of changes.
They may move to a different place. They may change jobs. They may ask for a leave of absence for a couple of years. All kinds of people in this country have asked these deeper issues.
Of course, just setting our priorities won't instantly create peace and order in our lives. And that's especially true of working women with children, who often have to pull a second shift. The fact is, the average working mother in this country spends 44 hours a week at her job and then has to clock an additional 31 hours at home on family chores, twice as much as men. That is what Jeannie faces as she begins her second shift.
Oh, sweetie. The most stressful moment of the day is immediately after school. You are engaged in an hour-long power struggle, basically, and there's always a good deal of screaming involved. While I'm feeding Brooke and trying to get whatever meal we're having organized, the video goes in and keeps him quiet.
The pancakes are stuck in the toaster.
I just can't keep them entertained long enough to get a full meal on the table.
We often don't eat supper at the same time. We take turns because the kids have to be watched. Dinner as a concept has kind of gone by the wayside.
It has, totally.
For Jeannie, the stress begins with that rocky ride home after picking up the kids from daycare. So tip number 1, a hug in time saves 9 tantrums.
I mean, this is hard for Ian. He wants her to sit there and be with him and not think about anything else except for him. You know, drop everything. Just throw your purse on the floor. Sit down with him for a few minutes. Again, to save time, because this is taking an enormous amount of time out of her day. Plus, it's creating such tension in the household that no one is thinking straight.
Tip number 2, when it comes to dinner, don't reinvent the wheel every night.
Come up with your 10 standard meals. This is what we're going to eat during the and work your shopping list from that. You need to make one permanent list, photocopy it, have that every week, and then just go through the refrigerator, do a quick inventory. Oh, we need this and this, check it off.
John finally arrives home at 7:15.
Hello?
And 2 minutes later, we record the single longest face-to-face exchange between husband and wife.
So how was your day aside from the bus breaking down?
You want some spaghetti?
It lasted 6 seconds. The evening's begun.
Are you guys ready for your bath?
No, Miss Brooke, no pouring outside the tub.
Brooke is good about sleeping.
Night, night. There's your dolly.
Ian is not. On the contrary, he's picking up steam around 9.
So we don't get any time to ourselves.
The dishes aren't done.
The toys aren't picked up. There's a pile of laundry to do. By the time Ian goes to bed, I am exhausted, ready for bed myself.
I still have a little something left, so I'm gonna watch a video tonight.